Good morning. If you tuned into my morning message today, you will know that today is a brand new module. We will begin this week learning all about data. Now, since this is a new module, the main thing I want you to have is your listening ears. That's right. Again, I want you to have your listening ears. We will be collecting data, and today's specific thing we're going to work on is tally marks. Now, some of you may be familiar with how to collect data and tally marks, but for those of you that are not familiar with it, today is all about tally marks. Again, the main thing that you will need is pencil and paper and your listening ears. Now, for this first part, the only thing you will need is your listening ears. I will tell you all you need to know about the pencil and paper. Now, for your practice, I will also show you how you will be able to show your work, like using your practice. I know a lot of us are not printing the work off directly from the website, and we are using only pencil and paper. So I want to be fair to everyone that is either printing it off the website or just using pencil and paper. So if you are, once again, I will show you how to use your pencil and paper later on in the video. I can't stress enough, like the main part that you just need to focus on right now is just listening. So let's get started. All right, do you have your listening ears on? I want you to listen carefully. Feel free to pause the video if you are confused or you need to run it back because you're like, what in the world did Miss Sims just say? Feel free. All right, let's get started. This is what you call a table, and it has a bunch of words and numbers, and it just all has a meaning to it. I promise you, I'm going to get to it. The first part I want you to know, this is called the title. It's called the title. So the title of this table is called Class Favorite Dances. So in this data of the table, this is talking about class favorite dances. Now, there are two categories. The first category is the name of the dance. So, of the class favorite dances, these are the names of the dances that the class picked. This side is how many people voted for these dances. So, let's analyze the data in the table. So, the dances that were given were jigga, mop, floss, or shoot. And on the other side is how many people liked that dance. So let's look. For the dance jigga, 8 people in the class voted for that dance. For the dance mop, 3 people voted. That means that 3 people thinks that's their favorite dance. For floss, 5 people voted for that dance. And for shoot, 4 people voted for that dance. Now, we are going to use the data, that we just analyzed to turn it into tally marks, and we're also going to answer questions. Are you ready? Let's get started. All right, now we're getting to the part that I told you at the beginning, that we will be using tally marks. So we will be taking the information that we just talked about as far as our class favorite dances and transferring them into tally marks on another table. Oh, okay, so it's already written out for us, and we're also going to answer questions based on the data that we collected. So we are going to use the table that we just looked at in order to put it on this table. So let's start from the top. We said that out of the class favorite dances, eight students liked the dance jigga. So we have to show that with tally marks. Now, for those of you that have no idea what a tally mark is, it's just like drawing lines to represent. Each line is represented by 1 vote. So, since 8 people like jigga, we have to draw 8 tallies. But let me show you how to do it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, every time you get to 5, you are going to draw a line diagonally. Now, every time you see something like this, you will automatically know that that means 5. Once again, every time you draw tally marks, once you get to the 5th tally mark, you draw a line diagonally. Now, since 8 people like Jigga, we need to keep going. So right now we're at 5, 6, 7, 8. We have now represented the 8 votes in tally marks. Let's keep going. 3 people voted for mop, so we're going to draw 3 tally marks. 1, 2, 3. Now, let's look at how many people voted for floss. 5 people. Remember what I said. If 5 people vote on the 5th tally mark, you draw a line across diagonally. So, since 5 people voted, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one, shoot. 4 people voted for shoot, so we're going to draw 4 tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have now represented the data from the first table that we had to now tally marks. And if you want to remind yourself, you can write numbers right here just in case you forget and you want to go back and refer to it. So we'll put 8 right here because 8 people voted for Jigga. 3 people voted for the mop. 5 people voted for floss. And 4 people voted for shoot. That's just for you. You don't have to do it, but if you need to do it, it's here for you. The last thing we're going to do is answer questions based on our table. Okay, I'm going to read the first question to you. It says, how many students voted for the dance shoot or mop? Now, that means they want to know the number of people that voted for shoot and the number of people that voted for mop. And since that's 2 dances, we need to put those 2 numbers together. So let's look at our data. Let's see. We know that 4 people voted for shoot and 3 people voted for mop. And since I just told you that we have to put those 2 numbers together, we know when we put 2 numbers together, that means that we should add. So I am going to add 4 plus 3. You can count on 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means 7 students voted for shoot or mop. Number 2, it says how many fewer liked floss than Jigga. Now, when we hear the word fewer, in this instance, we're comparing the amount of people that liked Jigga to the amount of people that liked floss. If you can see. The amount of people that liked Jigga was 8. To the amount of people that liked floss, which was 5. So, if we take 8 and we take 5 away, there were 3 fewer students that voted for Jigga than floss. So that is our answer. And the last one, how many students voted? That means that we just need to count up how many students voted all together. Since we drew tally marks, we can just count our tallies to see how many students voted all together. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there were 20 students that voted. Good job. Well, that concludes our lesson for today. We will be referring to the data that we used today all week long. So get used to it because you're going to see it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Once again, we will be working on data and collecting data and just putting it in different kinds of tables, whether it's tally marks, bar graphs, picture graphs, something like that. You will see it all week long. If you are struggling or have any questions, feel free to feel free to not hesitate to reach out to me and ask any questions either through the comment section or through your message. I am going to post our practice, and then I will show a step-by-step video on how to actually model how you will represent the data. Other than that, y'all have a great Monday, and I will see you tomorrow for our next video. Bye. All right, so for today's practice, they already have a table made for you. Just mimic the exact same way that it's on the practice. And I will circle it on there so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the main thing that I want students to get comfortable with is drawing tally marks and then answering questions. And I will break it up so that it's not so much at one time. But the main goal as of today is answering questions based on the information that you collect in the data and drawing tally marks. So once again, if you are using pencil and paper and you're not printing directly off the website, they make the tables on there. You just mimic it. Like you just draw exactly how it looks on the workbook page. And you just, whenever you turn your work in, I will look at it and that's exactly how it is and it'll be just fine. All right, once again, I will see you tomorrow on our next video. Goodbye.